Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. This is the first of a bottom food out of two bottom foods. Obviously, this was a pay-per-view in America where we saw Romero. Sorry, I said Romero versus Ryan Garcia, Terry Lopez versus Barbosa, and Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. But yes, start off. This was probably the big story from the card early this morning, which is Roy Romero stuns and upsets Ryan Garcia in New York. Roy Romero knocking down Ryan Garcia early on the way to an upset decision win in Times Square. By the way, wasn't it so strange seeing a bottom win basically in the middle of Times Square? Unbelievable, man. But unbelievable to see, to be fair. And but fair play, Roy Romero deserved he got the win. Thanks to Ryan Garcia. It was a disastrous performance from Ryan Garcia. Funny what happens when you're not on peds, isn't it, Ryan? Maybe Ryan Garcia does need to be questioned now. Is he actually really that good? Apart, if you take away his left hook, if you take away his fruitful hooks, Ryan Garcia doesn't really have anything, does he? And Roy Romero showed that by Roy Romero's game plan was spot on, absolutely spot on. Bottom of the back foot, utilising that jab, out jabbing Ryan Garcia. The jab was key for Roy Romero. The jab to the body, along with the knockdown, winning the fight. Winning the fight, in my opinion. And not to start for me, the movement was done from Roy Romero, frustrating Ryan Garcia as well, making Ryan Garcia try and stalk him. Good win IQ from Roy Romero, outboxing Ryan Garcia, utilising that jab, using the win movement, using the win IQ that Roy Romero start. And fair play, I was proven one. I thought Ryan Garcia's hooks would be too much for Roy Romero, but he took away Ryan Garcia's access for me, Roy Romero, and completely outboxed him. Maybe you can say it was a bad night for Ryan Garcia, but at the end of the day, it was a disastrous performance for Ryan Garcia. Didn't get a glove on Roy Romero, and it was complete masterclass from Roy Romero, a complete bottom masterclass from Roy Romero as well. It'd be interesting to see what will happen next for the both of them. Ryan Garcia, he'll want to try and avenge the defeat on Roy Romero, while Roy Romero will want to try and move on, actually, because Roy Romero is mandatory for Tyrone Boots, the winner of Tyrone Boots Ennis and Diazarov for the £147 welterweight title. He is mandatory, Roy Romero, so I can see him waiting for the winner of that fight. Ryan Garcia, don't know where he does next. The thing is, Ryan Garcia still doesn't have options, isn't he? He will still have big fights because he lost to Tank Davis and still had the big fight with Devin Haney. He did beat Devin Haney, but then Ryan Garcia got found to be having drugs in his system, and then obviously that got overturned, that result. But unfortunately, we still witnessed that, and Ryan Garcia still beat Devin Haney in my eyes. Peds or not, he still beat him. And because I don't see Devin Haney wanting to do a rematch with Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney's another option as well for Roy Romero, because it was planned for Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney rematch if they were both to win. But now, maybe see Roy Romero maybe have that fight with Devin Haney, who knows. But let me know down below in the comments what is next for Roy Romero and what is next for Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn, maybe? It's Conor Benn, because Conor Benn lost to Chris Eubank Jr. To be fair, no shame Conor Benn using to a 160 fighter, because that's not his natural weight. 147 is his natural weight. Ryan Garcia has had the more worse knocks, in my opinion. But again, I don't think Conor Benn will want to fight Ryan Garcia on the back of the knots, because I think Conor Benn wants to fight Ryan Garcia if Ryan Garcia did win. as well. So, be interesting what's next for Ryan Garcia. But Roy Romero's got multiple options, hasn't he? As I just mentioned. Up next, then, of course, a former Ryan Garcia opponent, Devin Haney. A safety first support sees Devin Haney earn a wide, uneventful decision win over Jose Ramirez. Even, I've said it here, even for a safety first fight like Haney, his refusal to engage made for a truly terrible spectacle. But at the end of the day, at the same time, I said it on here on my notes, I have to say, I'm not sure what people expected from Devin Haney against Jose Ramirez. This was always going to be the way. This was always on his game plan. He was going to box with or without the Ryan Garcia fight. He was always on the box safety as well. After the Ryan Garcia fight, Devin Haney was always going to be safe. He didn't want to get hurt. It was always going to be the safety approach for Devin Haney. I don't really have any criticisms, to be honest with you. Do what you can to win. Look, it wasn't eventful to watch, was it? Yes, we will. But again, it was a boxing performance from Devin Haney. And that's what he is. He's a boxer. He was always going to outbox Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez didn't trouble him. He was just trying to stalk him, trying to be the impressive fighter, which we all expected. And then Haney did what he did best, which was use his win IQ, use his win movement, utilise that job, and outbox Jose Ramirez all the way through. Obviously, it was a terrible spectacle. To be honest with you, I thought the whole card didn't really live up to expectation, did it? But that's probably what you don't expect. But we'll talk about that at the end after swap out every fight. But what is next for both fighters? Don't have a clue about Jose Ramirez. I think he's just going to be a dead keeper for anyone. Let's be real. Devin Haney. What next for Devin Haney? Again, he's got options. Conor Benn wants to fight Devin Haney. There's a bit of beef between Conor Benn and Devin Haney. Is Devin Haney going to fight Ryan Garcia now? After Ryan Garcia lost? We'll wait and see. Roy Romero, after he beat Ryan Garcia, that's an option. But I think Roy Romero's going to be mandatory. As I said earlier, Roy Romero's going to be mandatory for the winner of Toronto Boots Ennis or the Asadov. But I think Devin Haney still don't have options. Teofimo Lopez, yeah, that's another option. Teofimo Lopez had a lot to say about Devin Haney's ball, turning ball in and all that. That's another option for me, Teofimo Lopez. Which does lead me on perfectly onto Teofimo Lopez, who did defeat Arnold Barbosa. I thought this was a tricky fight in my preview. It was a tricky fight for Teofimo Lopez. I did call this a tricky fight for him. But I did say though it would. I still went for Teofimo Lopez to win, but just because it's been built up this Times Square card as like a bit of tension, and Teofimo Lopez does turn up, and I think he did turn up as well. He did turn up, Teofimo Lopez. I actually think Barbosa didn't turn up, in my opinion. For me, as I said in my notes here, forgettable fight, but for me, a clear win for Lopez, who was a step ahead of Barbosa in every department. In my opinion, when Barbosa done on the back foot and made Lopez lead, he actually had success. He just didn't do that enough, Barbosa, in my opinion. He spent too much time done shot for shot in the middle of the ring with a faster fighter, and that obviously suits Teofimo Lopez to the bone, yes, we will. Barbosa still had no answer to the speed of Lopez. It was never been able to get a foothold in the fight, and yet it slipped away from him. The only joy Barbosa had was the big right hand that landed in the sixth, which Lopez did feel. Pause. For me, I expected Barbosa to try and use his length and movement a bit more than we saw. Instead, he was, like I said, he was trying to punch with Lopez and was turning off second best to Teofimo Lopez hand speed and Teofimo Lopez was the faster fighter, and for me the better fighter as well. So yeah, again, a comfortable win for me. I think it was a comfortable out boxing performance from Teofimo Lopez. Lopez did it the right way. His plan worked, which was he was something more the front footed fighter. Try and use his fast hands as well. And when Lopez is on it as well, when he's on it, he is a good fighter, very good fighter to watch. Teofimo Lopez. So, but yeah, I think Barbosa didn't turn up, but it's not Lopez. It's not Lopez's fault that Barbosa didn't turn up. And Lopez, I'll still give credit to Lopez for that, in my opinion. So for me, what next for both fighters? Arnold Barbosa will probably now get a tune-up opponent. Basically get an opponent, get a comeback, win fight, then go back in straight with a big fight for Barbosa. Maybe title rematch, who knows, for Barbosa. Maybe title rematch. Because at the end of the day, that was still a close fight to catch Barbosa on the card. It wasn't my card, so I wouldn't be then seeing that rematch, to be fair. What next for Teofimo Lopez? He's got a lot of options. He can go up to 147. He can fight Devin Haney. He can fight in a unification super lightweight, but I think there's always been that taste stuff for Teofimo Lopez where we've all wanted to see him move up to 147. So we will see him move up to 147 and probably take that belt. Maybe Barbosa fights for that belt. Who knows? But I do expect Lopez to move up to 147 very soon. And I hope it is next as well. And there's not a fight at 147 as well. Boots Ennis, you could even have Wayne Garcia moving up to 147. Devin Haney's probably going to move up to 147 as well. So yeah, that's what I think could be next for both fighters. And finally, just to end up, in terms of spectacle, I don't think the fights lived up to the spectacle, did they? Of times of having it Times Square. I don't think there was any close fights at all, whether, let's be real. Lopez won TAE against Barbosa. Romero won TAE against Wayne Garcia, and Devin Haney won TAE against Jose Ramirez. So the fights didn't really live up to the spectacle for me. So it was a bit dead for me. It was a bit dead. But I think when you look at the fights on paper, I think we all expected that for me. I think Lopez Barbosa, we all knew Lopez Barbosa was never going to be entertaining. That was going to be more of a chess match between the two of them. But that was the only close fight on paper. But, well, that didn't prove to be the case, did it? Because we obviously saw Romero stun and upset Wayne Garcia. So maybe he did give up actually to spectacle, because we did not see Roy Romero beating Wayne Garcia, did we? We didn't see that happening. We did see Lopez and Haney winning. As much Barbosa was a tricky fight, I think everyone still went. I think most people still went for Lopez. And obviously, Haney was always going to win easy against Ramirez. But yeah, it was a bit dead, the atmosphere. It was a bit dead for me. But I will say, Wayne Romero beating Wayne Garcia probably helped it. Because no one saw that coming. But yeah, I thought, I just can't see that happening again, having a spectacle in Times Square. I just don't think it lived up to it, unfortunately. Good idea. It was definitely a good idea, but I just don't think that the idea really executed well, to be honest with you, in my personal opinion, in terms of atmosphere. But apart from Roy Romero beating Wayne Garcia, the fight went how I expected it to do. So, but yeah, feel free to leave your thoughts on all three fights down below. I will be back tomorrow for the Canelo Alvarez Women's Door full card review, because that is another pay-per-view in America. This is what I'm doing now. I'm mostly doing bottom reviews is for pay-per-view cards. So Kuban versus Ben, that was a pay-per-view in the UK. And wherever is a pay-per-view in America, that's what I will also do a bottom review for as well. So feel free to leave your thoughts down below in the comments, and take care, stay safe. See you in the next video, where we saw Romero stun and upset Garcia on the Fatal Fury card in Times Square, New York. And we also saw Tiffany Lopez and Devin Haney get an untouchable win.